That movie nut here with a review for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the 1994 horror film starring Robert De Niro and Kenneth Branagh. Based on Mary Shelley's classic Gothic fable, young Victor Frankenstein is a medical student who is attempting to discover the secrets of life. When he travels to Ingolstadt, a prominent university, he meets up with a professor who teaches him secret experiments in reviving dead material. Using this knowledge, Frankenstein goes on and decides to try to play God and create life of his own. However, when the experiment fails and something horrific is produced, Frankenstein must face the consequences of his actions, which ultimately will threaten his family in the form of his own creation. First thing to talk about, which everyone should have guessed by now, is the monster himself. There is no denying it. Robert De Niro is absolutely fantastic in this role, and he's fantastic for the way the monster is in this film. He is nothing like Karloff or Lee, because unlike them, he can actually speak, and he's portrayed more as sympathetic, and the only reason he kills is because he is forced to in order to survive or to avoid the wrath of mobs. His makeup is also pretty good as well. The stitches and all the usual trademarks are there, save for the screw. As for the rest of the cast, they all pull off decent jobs. Kenneth Branagh, while not spectacular, is serviceable as the Mad Doctor. When he needs to be, he overacts, and, well, let's just say he will be doing that a lot in this film. Helena Bonham Carter is sympathetic, but nothing special as Victor's fiancée and adopted sister, Elizabeth. And Tom Hulse is suitable as Frankenstein's best friend. Ian Holm, John Cleese, and others also add in their fair share, and they pull off their roles decently. Nothing special, but everyone does decent jobs. Enough to make us care, but not so much so that there is Saracen moments. The design, while lacking the classic Gothic stylings and extreme shadows of the 31 version, the film does create a distinctly cold ambience with snowy backgrounds, pale colours, and genuinely very little in the way of strong gold light. Also, the creation scene, the highlight of any Frankenstein film, is probably one of my favourite versions. The music, the fast-paced cutting and variety of shots all make it very intense, exciting, and it is pretty much a testament to Kenneth Branagh's abilities as a director. However, his direction can be a little off-putting at times, sometimes feeling out of place in what could be considered a period film, and a little out of place even in a horror film, and a very mild one at that. For instance, when the Victor and his friend are trying to revive the professor, it's very bizarre that Branagh spends so long on him and Hulse just apparently pumping at something and we can't see what it is, so yeah, I'll leave you to make the obvious jokes. The script now. How well does it adapt the Mary Shelley classic? Well, I really can't say with regards to that department because I haven't read the novel. However, to my knowledge, it does hit all the key notes of the novel. While it's not a word-for-word adaptation, it's more or less the closest film to the original novel. The film overall feels it's moderately paced. It's not as fast as one would expect, nor is it very slow. This is very much a sort of halfway between a fast-paced and a slow-burn movie. There are points where it's really intense, the music is high, and there's loads of cuts. But there are points where it plays out more like a conventional period drama with long takes, which creates variety, but seems, well, weird at points when it suddenly jumps from one to the other. But to finish off my Halloween month, I will give Mary Shelley's Frankenstein a bronze star. It's not perfect by any means, but I can still enjoy it. It lacks a general sense of constant pacing, and it does feel a tad weak for a horror movie. However, there are plenty of things to enjoy here, such as the design, the music, and of course Robert De Niro as the monster.